A nanny tells all.
She told me she believed that Fotis was having an affair.
Did she say why she believed that?
She just said she had this feeling, he's been acting weird, and I didn't really believe her at first.
Lauren Almeida, the longtime family nanny for the Dulos family, spent nearly 2 days on the witness stand. She described to the court a picturesque life of the Dulos family. That is until everything changed when it was revealed Jennifer Dulos' husband had an affair with Michelle Troconis, who is now on trial accused of helping him cover up her murder. Police believe Jennifer's then-estranged husband, Fotis Dulos, attacked her in the garage of her home back in May of 2019 and disposed of her body, which is still yet to be found. Michelle Troconis was living with Fotis at the time of Jennifer's disappearance. She's accused of trying to create a false alibi and allegedly helping her boyfriend clean up the crime. According to officials, clothes and sponges with Jennifer's blood were found in Hartford, Connecticut, and surveillance footage captured a man appearing to be Fotis Dulos disposing of garbage bags and a woman in the passenger seat of the car fitting the description of Michelle Troconis. Both Michelle and Fotis Dulos were arrested in June of 2019, but only one is standing trial. Fotis Dulos committed suicide in January 2020, leaving a handwritten note proclaiming his and Michelle's innocence. Fast forward to 2024, the Dulos nanny is giving jurors an inside look into the family prior to Jennifer's disappearance and leading up to her suspected murder. She testified she worked with the family since 2012, and on day one of her testimony, Lauren Almeida described what could be considered an ideal family life. She said Jennifer was incredibly nurturing and initially described Fotis Dulos as a role model, but then the cracks within their picture-perfect marriage began to show.
When I first started working, he was just incredibly nice. He made me feel comfortable. He was funny. He, was fresh out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it sounded like I was getting this really great opportunity, even though it had nothing to do with any of the work I've ever done. And it seemed like he just wanted to push me and, make me better.
And did there come a point in time when the dynamic between Jennifer and Mr. Dulos began to change from when you first met them?
Yeah.
Could you describe how the dynamic changed for the jury?
The big dynamic change was in March of 2017, which is when Jennifer found out about his affair. I didn't really believe her at first.
And when you say you didn't really believe her, what do you mean by that?
At that time, I had a good relationship with Fotis, and I believed him to be an honest guy, and I couldn't imagine him having an affair where there's 5 little kids involved.
On day 2 of her testimony, Lauren revealed more, testifying she even met Michelle Troconis in 2017 while on vacation with the Dulos family in Miami.
And did you eventually speak with Jennifer about her intentions regarding the future of their marriage?
Not that night, no.
When did you?
It kind of changed throughout time, what her intentions were.
Okay. Can you describe to the jury what you mean by that?
So I was in the house the next day, and when Fotis arrived too. And so when I got to the house, she pulled me aside and told me that she spoke to Fotis, and he admitted to the affair, and that she was going to try and have this be as civil as possible. Because she opened up more, saying that she was no longer in love with Fotis, but she had 5 kids, so they were going to try and work out what they could.
Lauren says Jennifer asked her to stay on as the nanny as she planned to leave her husband, which Lauren agreed to do because she said they were friends and she trusted her. But Lauren later detailed the tension that started to mount between Fotis and Jennifer, including threats, and one instance where Lauren witnessed Fotis chasing his wife.
Describe Jennifer's demeanor as you saw her being chased with a piece of paper.
She looked scared and worried.
And can you describe Mr. Dulos' demeanor for the jury during that same interaction?
He looked angry.
Did you ever witness Mr. Dulos make any threats about the children?
Yeah.
And did he make these threats in Jennifer's presence?
Yes.
What type of threat did he make to Jennifer?
That he would take the kids to Greece and not come back.
And did Jennifer ever express her fear to you that that would happen?
Yeah, a lot.
When was this threat made?
Through those couple months, so April, May 2017.
Lauren then recounted another instance in May of 2017 where she witnessed an explosive argument between the former couple.
So I was in one of the kids' rooms and we were just doing a puzzle together where all of a sudden, we started to hear screaming and Jennifer ran through the bedroom door. I don't believe that she knew that we were in there, but she ran through the door. Fotis was yelling. I'm not sure what he was yelling. And she closed the door behind her and pushed her body up against the door. And he was trying to get in. And her face was just, she was terrified. And she saw that myself and her daughter were there. And to be honest, I kind of froze because I didn't know what to do. And then when he pushed the door more, he saw that his daughter and myself were in there. And his demeanor totally changed. He went from yelling to Jennifer, I just want to talk, very soft-spoken. It was so weird. And so eventually he walked away because myself and her daughter were there. She told me she needed to get out of the house. And so she left me with the kids and she just got in the car and I think she just went down the street to really just kind of catch her breath.
By June of 2017, Lauren says Jennifer secretly moved out of the home. Lauren testified she, Jennifer, and her kids made a trip to New York to stay with Jennifer's mom and out of fear hired an armed bodyguard. By late June 2017, a custody case between Fotis and Jennifer was underway. Lauren testified she was approached by Fotis who accused Lauren of kidnapping his children.
He came at me, yelling at me, again accusing me of kidnapping his kids. And then I just walked away. And then he tried to approach me later with his lawyer in a different demeanor, just apologizing, saying that he's just really upset. But I just walked away.
And did you testify on Jennifer's behalf in the custody case?
Yes.
Fotis was ultimately granted supervised visitation. By May of 2019, Jennifer and her children were living in a different home and going through their new normal. But on May 24th of that year, everything in the Dulos family would change. Lauren said she was working that day and received a text message from Jennifer in the morning pertaining to the kids. Then later, several text messages went unanswered, prompting Lauren to believe something terrible happened.
The second I called Jennifer, it's like my stomach just sank because she never not answered her phone. So I was really hopeful that she just got caught up with meetings and she was going to be there. And so when she wasn't there, I was shocked, but also okay, I have the 4 kids in front of me. I don't know what to do. So I just put them into their appointments and I just walked outside and I started to call people that could have heard from Jennifer.
Lauren said when she arrived to Jennifer's home, she didn't notice blood in the garage where investigators believed Jennifer was killed, but did see 10 rolls of paper towels were missing, even though she refilled them the night before. She said later that night, Fotis texted her demanding that she bring the children to him for his scheduled visit, which she refused. During her cross-examination, the focus continued on the deceased Fotis Dulos. Lauren testified he acted concerned about Jennifer's disappearance.
Can you see where it says, "Good morning, GM, Lauren, any news"?
Yep.
All right. And you had said to him, called them at 2:30 and 5:30. No news. They just told me they're still searching.
Yes.
And then Fotis texted to you, I spoke to an officer at 1 a.m. as well. What did you take that text to mean from Fotis?
I spoke to an officer at 1 a.m. as well. I read it as he called them, as I did, to speak to them.
Okay. And you spoke to the police and told them that you were talking to Fotis, or communicating with Fotis, right?
Yes.
And did you learn that Fotis, in fact, was not cooperating with the police afterwards?
No.
You did not learn that?
Can you repeat that?
It was poorly worded. Did you learn that Fotis, in fact, was not cooperating with the police?
At that moment?
After
that moment?
Yes.
And days, we learned that he was not cooperating.
Okay, even though Fotis told you he spoke with an officer?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Attorneys for Michelle Troconis then wrapped their cross-examination with rarely any mention of their client. After a brief redirect, Lauren was later excused from the witness stand. Michelle Troconis remains on trial charged with conspiracy to commit murder, second-degree hindering prosecution, and tampering with evidence. If convicted, she faces up to 20 years in prison. Her trial is expected to last 6 weeks. Reporting for Law&Crime, I'm Elizabeth Millner.